You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we are wrapping up our 5-part series on church safety by focusing on a critical piece of legislation, Texas Senate Bill 694. We're breaking down what this law actually protects and why relying on it without the right insurance backing can leave your church facing massive financial consequences. It is a Sunday morning, just like any other at a thriving neighborhood church in Fort Worth. Children are laughing on their way to Sunday school. Parents are dropping off toddlers to their classrooms, and volunteers are setting up crafts and snacks. There is a typical symphony of voices in the lobby as people catch up over coffee, and the greeters are standing at the doors offering words of welcome. Paul is one of those front door greeters, and he is also a dedicated member of the church's volunteer security team. As he offers his hand to introduce himself to a new visitor, chaos erupts behind him. A highly agitated individual bursts through the main doors, yelling threats of violence. As he starts to raise a weapon, members of the volunteer security team step into action. With many hours of intensive emergency response drills and countless rehearsals under their belt, Paul and another volunteer take swift action. Both men have valid licenses to carry, and they act quickly to neutralize the threat before the attacker can harm anyone in the crowded lobby. It was a textbook takedown, a terrifying situation resolved with heroic precision. Months later, the criminal court quickly cleared the volunteer security team members of wrongdoing. But the true legal aftermath was just beginning to unfold in civil court. During the takedown of the suspect, a stray bullet ricocheted off the lobby wall and struck a bystander, a visitor attending the church for the very first time. While the injury wasn't life-threatening, it required extensive medical care. A few weeks after the criminal proceedings wrapped up, the church received a certified letter serving them with a negligence lawsuit. Paul and the church leadership remained calm because they knew about Texas Senate Bill 694. This law was designed to provide robust civil immunity to religious organizations and their security personnel from the liability associated with their security actions. The protection explicitly extends to defensive use of firearms. Their legal team was confident. After months of intense legal wrangling, the civil judge cited Senate Bill 694 and dismissed the case. The church was not found liable, but the church's sense of relief did not last long. When the final invoice for legal representation arrived, the leadership was stunned. The bill for attorney's fees was $80,000. Worse yet, when they submitted that bill to their insurance carrier, the claim was flatly denied. Buried deep within the fine print of their general liability policy was a firearms exclusion. The very insurance coverage they assumed would fund their fight left them financially wounded, forced to divert $80,000 directly out of their ministry budget. The exact money meant for outreach, youth programs, and community support in Fort Worth. What happened to Paul's church is a cautionary tale. Many Texas church leaders believe that having civil immunity means they are completely untouchable. But what they don't realize is that a statute on the books is not a magical force field of protection. The harsh reality is that immunity from liability is not the same thing as immunity from a lawsuit. Anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason. Senate Bill 694 will ultimately protect your church from having to pay a final judgment, but it cannot prevent a plaintiff's attorney from dragging you into court. Your church must still hire an attorney, file motions, respond to discovery, and show up at hearings just to prove to a judge that you qualify for that statutory immunity. Immunity is the final destination, but you still have to pay your way through the expensive trial process to get there. Don't let your church be the next cautionary tale. The peace of mind you're seeking doesn't come from a cheap policy or a misunderstanding of the law. It comes from having an expert review your real-world risks and designing a coverage plan that has no gaps. Connect with our church insurance team at insurancefortexans.com. And to get a broader overview of church insurance in general, download your free copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith Stewardship and Insurance Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.